Hi folks, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host Kurt Wiegel. Today's episode we're reviewing a small stack of products for the Pathfinder role-playing game. The first and the one we're going to spend the most attention on is the Pathfinder Bestiary. This is essentially all the critters you need for your Pathfinder role-playing game. We're going to be talking very quickly about the Crypt of the Everflame, which is a short first-level adventure for your players. The GM Screen, which I swear to you is made of mithril, has a 0% spell failure chance, and will stand up to a charging Tarrasque. And finally, the Dungeon Flip Mat. Let's talk about the Bestiary first, because that's where most of the meat is in these set of products. The Bestiary is essentially your monster manual. This has all of the critters you will need for your game, as I mentioned previously. It lists pretty much everything you want with really nice detail on some of the extraplanar creatures, the outsiders, both good and evil, law and chaotic, that you'll need for your game. Earthbound critters such as Durgar, Dryads, Darrow, sections on the other creatures such as your standard lizards, really well done groups on animals such that you need to know what the stats for an animal are. They're contained in this book. It is full color. It's very beautifully done. It gives you some advice on the back on applying the templates, celestial, draconic, abyssal, to the creatures. It also gives some nice background on some of the extraplanar ones. Nice one-page descriptions of exactly what the demons are, what their role is in the universe. The devils, some of the more good, the solars, also have some nice descriptions. Some of the names of some of the lords of those groups, if you're interested. Each monster gets each monster or monster type gets a page to itself, so they really don't bleed over unless there's a lot more information you need. The elementals are all grouped according to their type. Almost everything you would expect is contained in here. In addition, there are some nice appendices contained at the back, which give you everything you need to modify the creatures as you need to. If you like Pathfinder and you want to use some updated, streamlined, and using a lot more of the Pathfinder system stats, this is what you need right here. There are monster variants for each of the types. There are wandering monster tables, if that's the sort of thing that you're into. Additionally, it gives you ideas on the best ways to implement these monsters according to challenge rating and what you want to do for your game in this book. The GM Screen is of the newer batch of GM Screens, which are no longer flimsy cardboard that fall the first time one of your players throws dice at you or spills Mountain Dew on your table. Yes, Mike, I'm looking at you. But it's heavy cardboard, good support, stays open, the borders don't creak, and inside is almost every chart that I could think of, including the conditions, which is the stuff that I can never remember, the conditions and what they mean for the characters. On the flip side, you get the art, which is, I won't lie, none of it's really new. It's all stuff from the role-playing game core book, but it's really good, and it sort of helps you set the tone and feel you want for your game. The adventure, the Crypt of the Everflame, is a first-level adventure with pre-generated characters that match some of the art in the books very nicely. Valeros the warrior, Kyra the female human cleric of Serenay. It's set up well with a combination of interactions, puzzles, and ultimately things to fight, of course. Then you have your dungeon pad. Now, I didn't get this out simply because I didn't want to have to unfold it and figure out how to put it back. This is a dry erase pad that you can put your miniatures on and move them around, or mark on with dry erase marker and it erases. It even is made of a material that allows you to use a permanent marker by accident and then get rid of that as well without destroying it. These make for very nice temporary maps that you can just throw down and have your players move around on and use the combat accordingly. I'm a fan of Pathfinder. I like to think of it as a nice update to D&D. It is still a D20 product, but if you prefer a rules light game without a whole lot of detail for you to choke and trip on, Pathfinder is really not the way for you to go. But if you liked D&D and you like the sort of overall feel of the D20 engine, you like what it does to you, and it does for your game specifically, Pathfinder is a very nice conversion. Go back and watch our Pathfinder reviews, both of the beta test and of the role-playing game itself. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good day and good gaming.